All right, so a couple nights ago, I had two guys come around 4 a.m., try to steal my truck. They broke the door lock, they broke a little bit of the ignition housing off. After a few minutes of messing around in there, they gave up and they took off. Not only are they thieves, but they're bad at being thieves. And not only are they bad at being thieves, at least take a Milwaukee Impact or something for your trouble. Don't come all the way to my house, break into my truck, and take nothing. You just wasted your time. Not only did they take nothing, but they left their hammer on the seat. Cool, thank you, I got a free hammer. At this point in their lives, not even their mother can pretend to be proud of them. But that being said, I've decided to design a security system, and I wanted this to be more or less universal. I wanted it to be not vehicle specific, but I wanted it to be cheap, so anybody could do it, only for a few bucks. I wanted it to be easy to install, not a complicated system, so there's no extra troubleshooting. There's no digging into your wiring harness to find this wire, that wire. And I want it to be remote controlled. Now, there's a lot of people that have told me, hey, put a little switch under your dash, blah, 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 hide a button, hide a this, hide a that, whatever. I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess with stuff. I just want to get in and use my truck as normal. I want it to not give them any time to be able to be in there messing around, looking around, grabbing anything, breaking my ignition, do whatever. I just want them to scatter like the roaches they are immediately when they try to break in. So how are we going to do that? This is how we're going to do that. This circuit that I've laid out here is extremely basic. There's a whole lot more going on with your vehicle's electrical, but I've dumbed this down as much as possible to make it as easy to follow as possible. Basically, what happens is when you open your door, the door switch will tell your BCM that the door is open, and it will turn your interior light circuit on. Now, why this is important is because that is on a timed circuit. If you notice, when you close your doors, the lights don't go off right away. They usually have about 30 seconds of courtesy time before the lights shut off. That way you can find your keys or put the key in the ignition or, do whatever. The timed light feature is half of it, and also the door switch is half of it, because the first thing that you do to get into a vehicle is, you open the door, and that is where I want the activation to be for the security system. Now, on normal operation, you open the door, lights come on, and that's about it. Nothing happens. Great, cool. Now, when the security system is active, the only thing we have to really do to implement this security system is add a couple of wires. Now, this RC relay is going to be the heart and soul of the system here. All this is a input-output that's on a remote. That's it. Now, it's going to take the DC input from your battery, and the remote is going to turn on and off the DC output. This allows us to activate or deactivate the security system just off the keychain, and it doesn't interfere with the normal operation of any of the vehicle's electrical wiring. There's no ignition wires to cut into. There's nothing like that that's going to possibly cause a problem further down the line. How this works is when this is off, there's no output on this side. Nothing is happening. This is irrelevant. But when this is on, the door switch goes on. BCM turns the interior light circuit on. The interior light circuit is going to, we're just going to have to add a wire to this relay, and it's going to send power to the coil side of this relay, which is going to be grounded to the output of the RC relay. That's important. We want this relay to not be able to be engaged when the system is off. So basically, when you turn on your lights, it's going to turn on this relay, and when the system is armed, it's going to allow power to go through the relay. And since this is a tow truck, I have all the emergency strobes. So we're going to have all of the strobes come on, and the second lug of this relay is going to be going down to your horn. So we're going to have strobes, we're going to have horns, and we're going to have it instantly as soon as that door is opened. That doesn't give the thieves any time to get in there and mess with the ignition or dig around or do anything. They're just going to know that the alarm is going, people are going to be looking out the windows, and they're going to scatter like the roaches they are. Now, if you didn't have emergency strobes or you didn't want to tie in any of the vehicle lighting, that's fine. You could use just a regular 4 or 5 pin relay, and this ground would basically just go to the load side of the relay, because you wouldn't have the other lug that would be needing to power any sort of lighting. Now, horns are ground side switched in most vehicles. They have a constant 12-volt power supply, And you notice on bad car accidents where the car gets crunched in the front and the horn goes off, that's because the ground of this doesn't have to go through a wiring harness into your horn switch and then get grounded. It just has to get crunched enough to touch anything metal along its path. So a lot of times that's why the horn goes off in a crash. You can kind of see how this operates. Also, with my lighting control box for my emergency strobes, there's no way for anything to backfeed, and even if it did, it doesn't have anywhere to go, so it's not going to interfere with the regular operation of the vehicle in any way whatsoever. The normal horn circuit in your car is going to be a constant power feed, and then the ground is going to go to your horn switch in your steering wheel, and then it's going to get grounded off under the dash somewhere. So that's not going to be interrupted anywhere. It's not going to interfere with any of the normal operation of anything. We don't have to cut into any of the essential vehicle wiring components. All we have to do is run a wire off the interior light circuit, which there's probably going to be a relay or a fuse for that under the dash that we can tie into, which will engage this relay. It's not going to add any load to the interior light circuit because all we're doing is adding a relay. We're not running the load of the alarm or anything through this circuit. And also, the ground side of this relay is going to be operated off the RC relay. Now, I've been through quite a few iterations of this where I found feedback loops by operating the light control box or this or that or whatever, but the way that I have this set up, nothing can interfere with each other. Everything operates the way it's supposed to. You can even use the factory horn instead of installing some auxiliary horns. This is the best, simplest way that I've come up with after a few iterations. I just wanted to share this with everybody because I know there's a lot of people out there that have classic cars, old cars, security systems that don't necessarily work anymore, something like that, and you just wanted something quick and easy to be able to add into it that pretty much anybody can do in about 30 minutes. So there you go. Have fun with it. Your vehicle will be a lot more secure. Off these relays, you can really add whatever you want. You know, I'm sure somebody's going to add electric door handles or this or that or whatever. Get creative. I don't care. It's your car. Do whatever you want. But I'm not responsible for what you do. So have fun with it.